Okay, now it looks an absolute mess now, but not to despair at this stage. It can be rescued. What you're just doing, I'm putting on the light. It's not completely accurate yet, but basically the light's coming from here, so it's striking these points. These will be the points where the light will hit on the face, down this edge here. But also having a reflected light probably coming from the blood of the background, I shall use the red in here. And hope it all works out. But I suppose the first big break was Karl the Viking, which was a series in Lion, and I did that for a few years.
Yeah.
And
you did Oleg before that?
Somewhere around
Yeah,
there, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
But they were the big ones. This is the second coat, where I'm introducing the red, which is the reflected colour from the blood that's going to be, or this blood red coming down. Mm-hmm. So I undercoat the whole of this side with red, and it will come through my next colour. You don't have to do it very carefully. This is working on the principle that the plane nearest to you is the darkest. So if you want it to go away, you've got to take from this centre point, which is the nearest bit, and make it move away. So you've got to work the modelling in very carefully if you want a smooth surface. Mm. So it is going to take several coats before you get to that stage. But now I'm just working on basic sort of painting principles. I'm not doing it very well, but I mean, I've tried to work on those principles.
What type of red is this that you're using?
This is a mixture of crimson and Prussian blue. Mm-hmm. It is a pretty deep colour. I mean, I've had this quite thin because I've got a lot of water with it. But if you add a little white with it, it'll suddenly come a really strong colour. Well, so like this sank into it, and you know, I was in the Holy of Holies, and I was taken in, and he said, "We got this new strip we're going to start. We want you to do it," you know. And this was the Trigan Empire. And I think it was in zip when it started. So now I can see how this bit here has got to relate to that background colour. Up to that point, they'd been very dubious about my colour work because they thought I wasn't any good in colour. I was a black and white artist. But I think it was Karl the Viking. I did colours for an annual, and that was quite successful. And then they thought, okay, give in to him. So that's when I started. And
did you know the text writer that started the series? Did you talk to him about what the series was about and how he emphasized it should look?
No, not at all.
So it came out of your head.
Yes, but as you see, it's mainly based on Roman and Greek architecture and clothing. I somehow I thought of empires, you know, and I thought back and I thought anachronisms. Let's have a Roman sort of type costume, and it did sort of, it developed from the original idea as the years went on with the characters. They changed, but basically, I mean, I did a lot of sketches first of all, which I submitted, and they sort of said, yes, we like this, we like that, and you know, that way we got something together, and then off we went, and it was absolutely marvellous, you know. I realised this is what I love doing, and it was very exciting. I didn't like the pressure of deadlines, but I never liked that.
Yeah.
For 2 pages a week in full colour, it's quite difficult year after year. I cut all the other work mostly out, although I did do Carrier at the same time.
Yeah.
But on the whole, that was mainly all I did. Oh no, occasionally I bit, you know, the mouth is either open or shut, and that's it. So that was awful. That was awful. I gave that up.
Why did you accept that kind of work then?
Money. Great inducement. Yeah. I've never had enough money, you know, in my life. With 5 children, you never have enough money.
Yeah.
So anything that was offered to me, I tended to say yes. But I found it, I think, must be secondary to the storytelling. Because you've got to let the reader know what's going on. I think the mistake a lot of artists make is that they indulge themselves in doing a nice picture and forget about actually, you know, informing the reader what's going on. And that's a trap that's easy to fall into.
Are there particular stories from the Trigan Empire which are your favorites?
I thought all the stories were very good, you know, they were very well written. I tend to judge them by the artwork because that's where I'm involved, and I'm being, as I said, harsh on myself. I look at them now. Some of them I look back on. I've had a lot of the pages back, and I look back and say, oh, that wasn't bad. You know, I'm quite surprised at what I'd done, because I've in a way forgotten what I've done. And sometimes it's quite pleasurable, and other times I can say, oh my God, I was in a hurry when I did this page, you know. But yeah, no, I quite enjoy looking at them again. It's at this stage of the game I miss my other eye.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you've got to be precise, and I find that more difficult.
Do you visualize everything beforehand? Do you know exactly what you're going to do with the colors, or are you trying things?
I'm trying things out as I go along.
Mm-hmm.
That red, that's...
At one point, Mike's stories became what we later thought as a bit fascist.
Yeah.
How did it come up? How did it appeal to you?
When you've got no feedback at all, you think there's only a few people out there who's reading this, mm-hmm. So I would have a joke with the writer, and that's what I was doing. I was just sort of saying you're pointing to a very fascist society, and so I did the Nazi uniforms. It was only later that I realised that other people read this thing, and that's when I went to the 101
Yeah,
thing.
but what was Mike's response to that?
Oh, I don't know, because we weren't in contact.
No.
I think I talked about it later with him.
Yeah.
But we were so drunk that I can't remember what we said.
That's when you got the argument. Your comic strip was being published not just in Britain, but in several other European countries as well.
I didn't know that.
No.
No, I mean, that was entirely news to me. I mean, so you can imagine what sort of impact that Comics 101 had on me when I went there. And that's when I went to Irvin, Ustimagic, and all the other artists, you know.
But it was more or less a standing up of comics in Britain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first time it had happened.
Yeah.
And we all met each other. It's
Yeah.
great, you know. I met Frank Hansen and Bellamy and everybody else, you know.
But you also went to Italy to a
Lucca.
comic convention.
Yes.
That was?
Yeah, Lucca. that was wonderful too.
De tekeningen vond ik heel mooi. Ik kan me nog heel goed herinneren, een pagina waarin 2 figuren gingen duiken. Later bleken dat dus Janno en een van zijn vrienden te zijn. En onder water kwamen ze een eng monster tegen. En vooral dat monster sprak tot mijn verbeelding. Het was levensecht getekend. Het hadden net zo goed foto's kunnen zijn, maar ik wist wel dat tekeningen waren. En pas veel later kwam ik erachter dat dat dus Don Lawrence was. Ik denk dat ik toen een jaar of 16 was. Don Lawrence die was in Breda. Op de stripdagen was een van de eerste edities dat ze daar waren. En ik liep daar rond met een stapeltje boeken. En toen hoorde ik van mensen dat Don Lawrence daar een tekening of een handtekening in zou zetten. Want die was uitgenodigd om op de beurs te zijn bij uitgeverij Big Balloon. Heette toen Oberon. En ik ging met mijn stapeltje daar naartoe. Ik heb heel even gekletst met Don. En dat was echt op de manier van, ik vind je boek heel mooi. En ja, de standaard opmerking van Don is, dankjewel. Die weet een complimentje altijd wel te waarderen. En in ruil daarvoor kreeg je dus een handtekening. En in een van mijn stormboeken kwam een hele mooie tekening te staan. En hoewel je wel contact hebt met Don, ben je een van die duizenden die hij die dagen ziet. En ik had een plannetje in mijn hoofd van, nou, als je een fanclub begint voor Don, dan heb je in ieder geval de reden om af en toe eens met hem te praten, misschien een keertje langs te gaan. En ja, meer over de man te weten te komen. Ik heb toen geschreven met de redactie van George en Jimmy. En ja, men vond dat wel een leuk plan. Ze hadden ook wel zoiets van, dat gaat ons een heleboel werk op de nek halen. Want ja, jij komt straks met een Don Lawrence fanclub. Dan komt er andere met een Kolk fanclub of een Peter de Wit fanclub. Dat is echt een beetje afgehouden. Totdat ik op een gegeven moment toch te horen kreeg dat men stripfanclubs leuk vond. En er waren mensen op de redactie van het blad Eppo die dat een beetje ging aanmoedigen. En toen is de Don Lawrence fanclub van start gegaan. Volgens mij is de eerste uitgave die... Op de een of andere manier leek ook het tekenwerk van Don anders te worden. En dat is waarschijnlijk ook een bewuste keuze geworden. Van, we gaan een tweede serie doen, de Chronieken van Pandarve. En Don ging experimenteren. Het was wel zo dat de verhalen anders werden. Het waren geen afgeronde verhalen meer. Maar op zich werd er een lijn uitgestippeld die in elk boek verder ging. Het werd ook echt science fiction. En af en toe had ik ook zoiets van, waar gaat dit over? Kijk, de tekeningen zijn heel sterk. Hè? En ik denk dat dat ook de reden is waarom de strip Storm zo populair is geworden. Maar ik had wel zoiets van, ik vind die verhalen gewoon niet echt spannend of niet meer zo pakkend als in het begin. En